A very different weather pattern is going to be coming to the United States for the next couple of weeks, and this is going to bring a lot more showers and thunderstorms to areas like the East Coast, the southern tier of the country, and then on the flip side of things, we are going to be seeing a massive summertime cool down for both the Midwest and as well as the Great Plains, and then eventually perhaps even the southeastern United States. So in today's forecast, we're going to break down everything that you need to know about this weather pattern and why I do think severe weather will return this weekend to parts of the Great Plains. We are going to begin though first with what's happening across the United States right now, and we've had a lot of showers and thunderstorms anywhere from the southern plains all the way back through the East Coast. We even had some severe weather yesterday that did roll through areas like New York City, for example, parts of Pennsylvania, even back into North Carolina and Virginia. We had some big thunderstorm activity, but overall no tornadoes reported yesterday, so good news there. Had a day off from tornadoes, and I think we'll also have a day off today from any sort of tornadic activity. We also had some showers and thunderstorms all across the Rocky Mountains. We've had lots of moisture across a large chunk of the United States, so that's going to continue to keep things interesting over there. And as monsoon season continues to ramp up, lots of rainfall expected back over in the Four Corners states for the next several days. Now, over in the Midwest, we are looking at almost no cloud cover right now, and that is because of a surface-based ridge that is going to bring the potential for much colder weather, which we're already seeing, and also much drier weather. So good news if you're looking forward to a break over in the Midwest. I think you'll be dealing with one here for the next 5 to maybe even 7 days. Now, there is a risk for severe weather over the next few days, but overall pretty low risks, at least beginning with tossing trampolines on Tall Trees Thursday. Have a few areas to watch for. We got one over on the East Coast with a slight risk back over in North Carolina and Virginia. Main concern, hail and wind. Back over in the high plains, we're going to see this a lot over the next few days, but mostly just a hail and wind risk for the next few days. Another marginal threat back over in northern Montana, and the same threats go there, hail and wind. Once we go into flying fences Friday, I do think there will be a low tornado risk back over in central Nebraska. It's very low and conditional, but overall the main concern across the board is just going to be isolated damaging winds and hail for Friday. And then beyond Friday, things do remain a little bit more uncertain, but I think we'll have another risk for severe weather on Saturday in parts of the Central Plains. For today, there will be some showers and thunderstorms, really primarily across the eastern seaboard. This is right around dinner time tonight, so notice a lot of showers and thunderstorms. They'll be anywhere from Ohio back into Texas and also into the Northeast. Again, not really any organized threat of severe weather aside from the one over in North Carolina and Virginia, but it's mostly just going to be hail and wind, and that's really about it. Once we go into the evening tonight, some showers and thunderstorms as well in the high plains, but again, pretty ordinary stuff for this time of the year. And then once we go into Thursday, even more storms, but they will shift even further to the south across areas in the southeast, and then plenty of showers and thunderstorms in the Rocky Mountains in the Four Corners states, where the monsoon season will continue on really for probably the next few weeks. Now let's talk more about this big weather pattern change that's going to be coming to the United States over the next few weeks, and this will be one of the biggest weather pattern changes that we see all summer long, where we are going to be dealing with a relatively large dry period for parts of the United States, and really not a whole lot of severe weather that's organized is really coming. So let's kind of break that down for you in detail here. Beginning with the next few days, this is the jet stream, and we're going to continue to see this low pressure system move out of the United States. We're going to see a ridge that's going to start to really develop back over in the southwestern United States. That'll kind of allow for things to stay warmer back over on the west coast. On the flip side of things, we're going to continue to see colder air come out of Canada, and that's going to really just sit there across much of the Great Plains and the Ohio Valley as we go throughout the late week and eventually into the weekend. And then once we go into next week, just notice how this ridge does not move whatsoever. And as long as that ridge stays there, things are going to stay warm across the western tier of the country, and then much cooler across the Great Plains and as well as much of the East Coast. So if you're a really big fan of at least colder weather during the summertime, this is really going to be the period for you. Once we go into Thursday into Friday, things will still stay pretty much the same. We might start to see things change as we go into the last weekend of July, but that does remain uncertain as we are still talking about something that's well over 7 days out. In terms of temperatures, we are going to be talking about a big cool down. This is a big cold air mass that'll be sitting across the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and much of the Great Plains through this weekend. And even into next week, it's just going to be sitting there across the Great Plains while we have all this warm air build up across the western tier of the country, anywhere from the Rocky Mountains and westward. And even back into southwest Canada, we're going to be talking about a really strong warm air mass where we are probably going to be dealing with some record-breaking high temperatures. And this will continue basically all the way until next weekend. So again, if you like colder weather and you're east of the Rocky Mountains, congratulations, you at least get something good for this time of the year. Once we go into the temperatures for today, notice again just really cold air for this time of the year in the Midwest. Many areas in the 60s and 70s for high temperatures today. Southern Plains, depending on where you are, it might be nice, it might be a little bit warm, but it's just going to depend on where you are. I think overall by the time we go into Friday into Saturday, almost everybody is going to be below 100 degrees in Texas, which is something you do not see very often this time of the year. Back into Iowa for Saturday, we could even see temperatures down in the 60s, and just notice how this colder air continues to sit across much of the United States as we go into early next week. But back over in the Southwest, we are going to be dealing with some extreme heat, with many areas dabbling into the 110s, so it's going to get very hot back over in the Southwest. I would buckle your seatbelt at looking at this future radar, because what you're about to see is something that we've not seen all summer long, and it all begins with the surface-based ridge in the Midwest as we go throughout the day today. This thing is going to be sitting there probably for a long time, meaning that any organized severe weather events like derechos or tornado outbreaks don't appear likely for the next 7 days. Because watch this as we go into Friday into Saturday. This ridge just continues to sit there in the areas like the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. This will allow for a pretty active period in the southeast United States. We might see a little system trickle in as we go into Friday and Saturday in the Central Plains, so don't be shocked with some severe storms, but nothing again that's going to be that organized. Once we go into Sunday into Monday, it's just going to continue to stay like this. Again, just really nothing organized across the Midwest or the Ohio Valley. We might see something try to organize by the tail end of next week on the East Coast, but overall, it's just going to be a lot of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Really just an active period there. And then once we go into next weekend, things just continue to stay very calm for most of the United States. So great news there. So just to kind of conclude what we've already been talking about, the temperature outlook for the next 7 to 10 days still appears as if we are going to be dealing with below average temperatures for the majority of the southern tier of the country. Exception would be Florida, basically. And then also back over on the West Coast, anywhere just west of the Rocky Mountains has a pretty high likelihood of seeing above average temperatures. And then also for precipitation, we are going to be seeing a lot of rain, especially in Texas, for the next 7 to 10 days. And that'll continue all the way probably until next weekend. And then more than likely, we're going to have a little dry period back over north of Kansas. So if you're back over in the northern plains, you can expect that. I wouldn't even be shocked if the Midwest also has that happen back over in areas like Chicago. I don't have a whole lot of rain in the forecast for your area over the next 7 to 10 days. And this is what we're looking at with the European model for the next 7 to 10 days in terms of precipitation and rainfall amounts. So notice as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, the bulk of the rain will be south of New England and also west of the Midwest. And then once we go into Thursday, Friday, into Saturday, we might start to see that rainfall amount start to kind of creep up a little bit back over in the Midwest, but that does remain a little bit more uncertain. What is a bit more certain, though, is that there will be many areas that pick up between 3 to 6 inches of rain back over in the southeast United States over the next 7 to 10 days. So be prepared for that. We could see some localized flooding. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and we'll keep you posted with the latest if anything does change with this forecast.